Today we're in the woods here in the Hudson Valley with two of my very close friends, and we're gonna do some really fun things. We're gonna cook out here, we're gonna find some amazing foods, and just kind of have a lot of fun together.
We're gonna walk through here and just keep our eye open for mushrooms while we're walking. All right, so check it out. Over here we got some golden oyster mushrooms that are pinning out. You see that beautiful yellow color.
Nice and bright.
The oyster mushroom family, all of them are parasitic. Summer oyster, autumn oyster, and winter oyster are the three different species that are native to here. That's fine because they're not very, very aggressive. This is a subtropical species.
Okay.
By people cultivating it all over the United States and Canada, and with climate change and things like that as well. So you really start to see with climate change, you know, like when things like this happening, where things that were not here before. So they are a delicious and very abundant species. I love this species. Like, look at those. Those beautiful little.
Well, you can roast them whole just like that.
They're just like, I was like, look at that.
Yeah,
way they
get
look.
that nice kind of crunch on the outside of them.
Beautiful. So the oyster mushrooms, you can always tell by the way the gills run down the stem.
Okay.
So they'll always run down. They won't stop at where the cap meets the stem.
Okay.
You know, there are some other yellow or golden mushrooms that you wouldn't want to eat. That'll make you sick to your stomach. You know, but we'll take these with us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Leave the rest of them to grow and
rest to grow and
do its thing.
And these guys in here, this is a groundnut or wild potato, they call it some places. Anywhere with these guys, we'll just follow these down to the bottom, these little vines, and see if we could dig up some of these. Let me see where this goes in. Here we go. There we go. So here's our groundnut right here. Where'd that one go, that big one?
Right there.
Where'd it go?
Right there.
Oh, sweet, yeah. Oh yeah, see these guys? Boom, 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 boom. So we can cook with all these guys here. That's the groundnut or wild potato. Yeah, so we'll use these for make lunch too.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's dig up some more of these. So make sure that it's the vine going down into there.
Let's get a rock.
Or a rock.
You got a rock too. Follow this guy.
I was gonna say carrot, right?
Is this wild carrot?
It's either that or the other.
That is
one,
wild
right?
carrot. Yep, that's wild carrot right there. Also known as Queen Anne's lace. And you can differentiate it from any of the other species that you don't want to eat by this has a hairy stem, like hairy stalk.
Help us
Queen Anne's lace too is really good in desserts actually. You dry it out and you can, it's really, really tasty.
A couple more will be enough to add to something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and these could be cultivated too. They could be transplanted onto your property and they'll take very well. There's a couple more.
Perfect.
You want to hold on with
Yep.
these?
I got them all.
It's alive out here. It's wild. It's alive. You see something like growing in front of you, naturally uncut. You know, like it doesn't look prim and proper. It looks natural, organic.
We're able to harvest enough to easily cook 3, 4, 5, probably even 6 dishes with everything that we've found. It's just absolutely amazing to think that this is here. Nobody planted it, it grew wild, and we're able to come out, make sure that we harvest it sustainably. We're not taking everything that's here, so that way we can leave it for the next people that come along. It can continue to regenerate and regrow itself. And then we're able to come back year after year after year and be able to have a lot of fun with some amazing wild food.
Let's go and eat.
Exactly.
Make a fire.
Fire is cool, yeah. Now we didn't know exactly what we were gonna find, so that's why we waited till now to make the menu. The forest dictated what we brought with us, and the forest is dictating what we're having as well. So what Nick is doing, he's just taking the fleur de sel, he's seasoning the grass-fed flank steak. It's from a local from a local cow here in the Hudson Valley. Throw that in the pan and sear it. We're gonna then throw some of the mushrooms in there with some of the duck fat and some of the ground nuts, right?
Yeah.
What one do we want to use with that? Do we want to use the Dijon Originale to kind of give it that little bit of spice, that kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that would be the one to use.
So one thing we want to pay attention to is this cast iron's been on the flame for a little bit. You always want to preheat your pan. That's gonna get you a nice sear. If you take it from this, the steak is kind of cold right now. It's gonna drastically cool down the pan right away. So we want to make sure it's preheated to about, ideally 350 degrees. Just a little bit of that. You're gonna see like a little bit of a light smoke coming up from there.
It's expanding, right? So it's creating little valleys. So if you wait to season your pan with your oil until after you heat it up, it's actually gonna help kind of get that oil down into those little valleys. And you can see these absolutely gorgeous mushrooms that James is breaking down right here. I mean, you know, whenever you're outside where you found it, this is gonna taste completely different than if we waited, took it home, threw it on the grill at home. Not that it's not gonna be insanely delicious, but there's something about being out here, eating with our hands.
Really just being out here, cooking outside, where you find these ingredients, you know, really just help you connect even further.
Worst thing you can do is do too much.
Yeah.
And what we did here is did as little as possible, and it's just gonna be a beautiful meal. So now what we did to get a nice sear on the steak is put it right on top of the coals. As you can see, it's nice and smoky.
You could probably go ahead and throw those mushrooms into there now. Yeah. Getting some color on these now.
So what I'm doing is I'm actually slicing against the grain here. If you go this way, you're just gonna create a fiber, so you go against the grain. And just slicing it thinly. It's very important always to have a sharp knife.
So again, in there we've got the mushrooms, the ground nuts, and then we're just gonna put some of the Dijon Originale on that, right? So let that kind of warm up a little bit with that leftover duck fat.
Oh yeah. That's money right there.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, let's go right on this.
Grass-fed flank, we got the oyster mushrooms, right? The ground nuts.
Yeah, the ground nuts, the golden
Dijon
oyster
Originale.
mushrooms. This is gonna be killer right here.
All cooked in the duck fat that rendered out of the duck, right? This is like,
Yeah.
oh my.
Wow.
I gotta make sure that I tasted that correctly. Just want to make
Please
sure
do.
that I'm not positive that I got all the flavors last time.
Those ground nuts too.
Dude,
Wow. Yeah.
like, and literally one of the better steak dishes I've probably ever had in my life. If you're looking for more fun recipes and great adventures, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our new channel, My US. We look forward to seeing you there.